Hi, everyone. Nice to see everyone here at Microbit Live Virtual. We're here to go through our top 10 list of tips and tricks for MakeCode for the Microbit. And we only have 20 minutes, so we're going to go through this list pretty quickly. If you have any questions or comments, please type them in the chat window. I'll try and answer as we go through or at the end. So I think you can see, can everyone see Peli's screen okay? Maybe a thumbs up or something. Thanks, Pauline. I like the sweater too. Okay, I think we're good. Everyone can see Peli's screen. All right, before we jump into the countdown, Peli, can you advance one? I just want to set a little bit of context. So MakeCode, for those of you who don't know, is an online editor for the Microbit. And I'm going to post a poll here just to get a sense of if everyone is familiar with MakeCode or not. So MakeCode has both drag and drop block-based code editor and JavaScript and Python text language editors. MakeCode runs completely in the browser, so there's nothing to download and install. But we do also have an offline app for folks who may not have access to the internet. And so with MakeCode, our goal is simply to provide a hands-on computing environment for every student. So let's see. Okay. Did everyone get the poll okay? I'm very quiet. Okay.
I got it.
I'll talk a little bit louder.
I voted. No, I didn't vote.
What's that?
I didn't vote. Am I allowed to vote?
Okay. All right, cool. So it looks like most people are familiar with MakeCode, so that's great to see. All right, without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Peli to go through the first top 10 tips and tricks, and then I'll follow up with the last 5.
All right, let's go. There's a question about Andrew about the broadcast. So I'm not sure, Andrew. We've started the broadcast. You should see everything. All right, so my name is Peli. I've done a lot of development on the Microbit, and we've built a lot of the hidden things in the editor. So we're going to show you some really, we think, cool tricks for you that are going to make your days better when you're doing Microbit. The number one is WebUSB. And if you haven't heard about WebUSB, it's basically a way for web pages to talk to USB devices. And, well, your Microbit happens to be one of those, which really means for your students, they don't have to do the drag and drop anymore. You can do a single click deployment. So that's really nice if you want to speed up your development. So I'm just going to create a new. Oh, you're hearing my phone here. Somebody's calling. All right, I'm not gonna have. So I'm gonna do a cool animation here. Just to get started. There we go. And I'm going to go and show the Microbit here. So I have a Microbit attached to my computer. You can see it here. And I have this wonderful program, but I want to get it onto my Microbit. So typically I need to do a drag and drop. But here what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on download it. Now look at this. There is this thing here because I've paired my device to the thing. So how do you pair? You click on this and you click on connect. But unfortunately, I tried the demo, so I'm already connected. I'm going to click download. Now pay attention. It's downloading, and it's done. That was fast. So that's how fast WebUSB is. It works in Modern Edge, Chrome. I think it works. There's a number of browsers that works. It's really a game changer as far as the experience of iterating and dropping the code into the device. So really recommend that. If you have older Microbits, like from the early years, you might have to upgrade the firmware. But other than that, this is my tip number 1. Jacqueline, any comment from you?
Yeah, so I will just say that one-click downloads will change your life. They are really amazing. Once you get used to WebUSB, you will never go back.
So there is this link down there. There are videos on how to do it. Really, really something that will make your life better. Tip number 2, radio and the MultiEditor. So one thing we discovered is, some people don't realize the Microbit has a radio. You can see it if you look at the device. It's this big antenna there. what we call radio is just a way to send little bits of data between microbits. Very simple, very efficient. So let's take a look at that. And also let's take a look at this new feature called the MultiEditor. So in general, when I want to do a radio program in microbit, what I would do is I would go here and I would grab one of the radio block, like this block that sends a number. So I put that maybe on button A. So on button A, I'm going to send a number 0, and then I'm going to have an event handler to do something like showing a heart when I receive the number 1. And just for good practice, I'm going to set a group, and the group kind of determines who's going to listen to my messages. So I'm in group 1. So group 1, if I click A, so I'm going to click A here, there's a second microbit, and you see that this one received the message here. So this is all great. You're basically running the same program on 2 microbit, and it's symmetric. If I press A here, it goes here. Now, this was kind of the state of the art before we released the editor, but how do you do 2 different programs? And this is where the multi-editor comes in. So if you're on the home screen, scroll down a bit, and you will see we put a helper card here. This is the multi-editor card with my brilliant art to draw these 2 things, but I'm going to click on this so that I can have it set up here. All right, the multi-editor is it is what it is. It is 2 editors in the same browser window, and they talk to each other. So if I open the program I just wrote, you can see that's the same program. And I'm going to move to the side, and I'm going to open another program, which is other. I'll call it other. I'm out of ideas here. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to be group 0, and here I'm going to be the receiver. So here, and I'm going to show something else like this, check mark. So on this side, I don't have, this is my sender. And what's going to happen is when I'm going to run my simulator, the messages are going to go to this frame. So when I'm going to click on, when I go here and click on A, and go here. So here I'm going to click on A, and kaboom, it sent a message and ran here. But the really nice thing here is that I am running 2 different programs. So the range of stuff you can build with the radio now is much bigger because you can really start to build complicated stuff. And that, Jacqueline, is my tip number 2.
So we have a question, Peli, about multi-editor. Can you use it on iOS or using the Android app?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, I think the answer is no. But I haven't tested it. But I think it's a no. You'll be able to use encode, but you will not be able to download the code to your device. I mean, you need some real estate to do that. So if your screen is, if you're an iPhone, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. Definitely worth a try. Oh, wait. Let me think about it. Now, there's some security. They're the untested. You have to try it.
Untested. Okay. Well, maybe Mark, you can try it and get back to us and let us know if it works.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be, I don't know. All right. Tip number 3. If you do WebUSB, it is very easy to get data out of the device into MakeCode. So if you want to do a science experiment, looking at things, this is much easier. So let's go back to, let's go back to my editor here. And I'm going to create a new program. And this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this fancy, cool new feature from the Microbit V2, which is the microphone. So although maybe whistling in the microphone, I'm not going to make some friends. So I'm going to go in Input, scroll down all the way, and you can see we have new blocks for the Microbit V2, including the microphone. So if I run this, you can see that that's kind of the way you see data by seeing that I'm simulating a microphone. And I can see simulated data here. Now, what I really want to see is real data. So what I'm going to do is, again, download. And you can see I'm not connected here, so I'm going to pair my device. All right, so we're connected, and it doesn't want to connect. Oh, I know what's going on. This one is connected. Ah! All right. That's going to make my demo. Well, I guess we're going to have to demo it from here.
Just close out from MultiEditor, no?
Yeah, it's because they're all open right now, and they're all called Untitled. All right. Well, let's recode it. So we're going to do a forever, and we're going to do a forever, yes. And we're going to get a plot graph, and we're going to get our wonderful microphone sound level. All right. And now I'm checking in the simulator. It's working. It's working. Great. And downloading. See that my little guy. Now you can see that it's responding to my voice very nicely. And
on for us, Peli.
Oh, you know, oh. Hold on, to get more dramatic here. Yeah, so it's listening to the microphone and showing on the screen. So cool. All right, that's my tip number 3. Oh, number 4. Forgot.
Yeah, and so we also have serial data blocks, like specific serial data blocks that you can use. And I just posted in the chat some documentation for where you can find those.
Yeah, they're here. So, click on serial. And then there's all these ones. This is, if you want to do data, this is my favorite one. Oh, I was supposed to do a cool tip there. So let's say you want to do acceleration, but you don't want to have 3 graphs. You can do something else that is very sneaky. You can, we're going to grab our acceleration X here, and Y, and Z. Now, if I do that, I get 3 graphs, which, it's kind of okay, but I really want a single graph. You hide this. So if I go in the simulator, you can see that this tree graph, it's not as that. So go in there and then do a dot X, a dot Y, a dot Z, and kabam, we're gonna group those 3 together. And now you got your 3 wonderful little chart.
Very cool.
Together. That was the ultimate tip. You can group data in the chart by using dot. The singing was more fun. That's why I went for the microphone. It was more dramatic. All right. Any other tip I missed, Jacqueline?
No, I think that was good for serial data.
All right. Number 4. This is very important for everybody who's not a native English speaker. We have now in-browser translation. So MakeCode is translated by a committee. Thank you, everybody who's working on that. And if you click here and you click here on language, you can select all the wonderful language that our community has translated. And I'm going to go in French now. Now, how do you go and translate the editor? It used to be very complicated to go there. So now what you want to do is click here. I have a feeling it's going to ask me to sign in, and it always does that in a minute. And here's the magic button you want to find, which is translate your editor if you're in English. But that will take you into a in-browser experience. All right, it is going to sign me in. All right, so hold on. I think, Jacqueline, I'm going to have to skip this. I'm going to have to skip this part of the demo.
We have more information about how to translate using the Crowdin's in-context translations at this link that I just posted in chat. But it's super easy. Just right on the page, you can translate the exact strings that you want to translate. So super helpful.
It's like a genie, got us a gift.
Translation genie.
Right. All right. So
know another language.
And thank you again for everybody who's been translating things. So the last tip is cameras. Yes, we are with all these online things, we did quite a bit of streaming and work, and we built this tool I'm using today. This tool is called Streamer. You can see the link here, and it's been designed to demo MakeCode online. So you can see that you've got your camera here, left and right. You've got your dock cam. You can go into full mode, switch things, your camera, go back there. There's also the clickbait mode, but that's for the YouTube. If you want to do a good clickbait movie, then So there's all this stuff that's ready to use as part of course, coding. I'll go away from here. I don't want to do that.
All right. So that was number 5. So let's quickly switch over.
I'm going to give control. Oh, yeah, you can take over control.
I think I can share my screen here. So let me know when you guys can see. Can you guys see? All right.
Yeah, we can see you.
With 8 minutes left, I'm going to try and go through the other 5 tips and tricks. So number 6 is snapshots. So this is also a very little known feature. I'm actually going to do a quick poll here to see if anyone has heard of or used snapshots before, but they are amazing, and especially if you are creating PowerPoint slides with MakeCode code snippets on it, or a curriculum or documentation. Really easy. All you need to do is simply take a quick snapshot of your code. So just on the workspace, you right click, you open up the context menu, you click on snapshot, and that will automatically download a PNG, an image file of your code here. So, and it's very nice, it's beautiful, it's got transparent background. So, so very easy to do if you're taking any kind of screenshots or snapshots of your code. All right, so the next thing I want to show is comments. Okay.
Comments, yeah.
So it looks like most people didn't know about snapshots. Now I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you again. How many people know about comments or use comments at all in their code? And just to let you know, this is the best practice in teaching computer science, is to comment your code. So I'm interested in seeing how many people use comments, and it looks like actually more people do use comments. So when you use comments, you can actually comment on a specific block just by right-clicking on the block and selecting Add Comment here. And you can type, this is a shake, or whatever comments you want. You can move your comments around. You can expand them, as well as block comments. You can also add workspace comments, and these are global comments, right? Like, this program will do blah, right? And so comments are a great way to annotate your code. In addition, you can also, comment in JavaScript or Python, right? So, so you can see that my block comments are here. Here's my sort of multi-line global comment, and this is my line comment. But I can also add a comment here. This is a comment on block, for example. And then when you go back to blocks, your comment will be preserved. So you can see my comment is here. So comments are great, and you should use them. All right, number 8, documentation. So documentation, we have a tech writer on our team. Galen is amazing, and he writes really great documentation for all of the blocks. And all you need to do is right-click on a block and select Help, and you'll get taken to the documentation for that block. You can also print out the information. So if I right-click and select Help, it'll come out in a side doc here. And all of our documentation includes not only sort of the signature of whatever block it is, but it includes some information about it, the parameters, what it returns, and an example. I can pop the documentation out into full page here, and then I can also print it. And by default, we have our printers be black and white so that, you know, pretty much any printer can print it. So so that's a nice feature.
And Jacqueline, one thing to mention is that the in-context translation that happens in the editor also happens here. So
yes.
if you click on language,
correct.
you can do that as well.
Yeah. So if you change the language here, you can also translate all of our documentation, and we would love it if you would help us translate. So good point, Peli. All right, so that was number 8, documentation. Number 9, the debugger. Okay, so I also have a feeling that most people have not used the debugger either, but I'm interested to know. So I'm launching another poll to see if anyone has used the debugger before or is familiar with the debugger. So it looks like most people not. So debuggers are super powerful tools for teaching computer science. I think, you know, one of the big things that we try and do is teach kids a program control flow, right? And debuggers are super helpful for doing that. And so most people don't know this exists. It's a little bit hidden feature, but if you look under the simulator, there's a little bug icon here. And if you click that bug icon, it will put you into debug mode. And you can slow motion mode. So slow-mo means if I click on this little snail icon, you can see that my program just kind of slows down. Each block as it's running is highlighted here. I can see how all of my variables are changing. So this is a great way if you just want to understand what your program control flow looks like. The other way to interact with the debugger is to set a breakpoint, and I can do that by clicking on this gray button here. And then when I run my code, I can simply step through and you can see how each variable changes. So this is super helpful as you're trying to debug something and understand what your program is doing. So debugger is also super helpful. You can click to exit the debugger mode. We also have a debugger for the JavaScript and the Python code editors as well. Yeah, so Python is our number 10 tip and tricks. We just added it earlier this year. We'd love it if you guys explored Python. Let us know what you think. I know I don't have time for a demo of this, but that's it for our number 10 tips and tricks for the microbit. And then, Barb, can I do one last poll here?
You sure can.
Okay. For those of you who are still with us, we'd love to hear from you. Of these top 10 lists, which is your favorite? Which is the feature that you can't live without that you love? Or if there is a feature that you love that you're really sad that we didn't include in our top 10 list, please type it in the chat window. We'd love to hear from you.
And everybody enjoy the conference. It's great to see everybody
yeah,
live.
Yeah, so it's looking like cameras and web USB are winning out, Peli.